Yo, what's up gang, and welcome back to another dope tutorial. Today we are going to make another Liquid DnB breakdown from a track I recently made. Because the last Liquid DnB tutorial went crazy with 3000 views. So I thought let's do another one. But first let's listen to today's track.
God, if you lead me, I will follow. Follow you all the way back home. Lord, I'll try to do it all on my own. But if you lead me, I'm coming all the way back home.
Before we start with the video, I want to inform you that I'm on Soundbetter. So if you need a producer or anyone to help you with your audio stuff, or if you are a singer-songwriter and you need someone to produce your dream instrumental, write me, hit me up, and let's work together on your idea. Alright, dope, so let's dive into the project file. So we always start at the beginning. So we have a bass here at the beginning, sounding like this, and it gets filtered in, so pretty simple. And then I also have a pad sound with the chords of the bass notes. Yeah, and a normal piano sound, also the chords. And to make it more atmospheric, I added like something like a vocal ambience thing, sounding like this. This is playing in the intro as well as in the verse. And then I have another 3 vocal ambience sounds here.
Follow you all.
And this sound is to introduce the actual lead vocal, which starts in the verse. But yeah, so let's get to the verse.
Wish I could rewind.
This is pretty simple. I also have the same bass as in the intro. And then I added a lead sound that has the same rhythm but not the same notes, to just make it more harmonic. Yeah, it's already sounding pretty great. So then we have a guitar sample sounding like this. Yeah, and the piano from the intro, but with some higher notes to make it a little bit rhythmic. Yeah, I also have a downlifter here, right at the beginning of the verse. And then the lead vocals.
God, if you lead me, I will follow.
Yeah, nothing special, some processing with reverb, OTT, saturation, EQ and a compressor, and also a delay to fill the spaces between the vocals. Yeah, and that's it. In the second part of the verse, a percussion drum sound starts to play, sounding like this. And here I added a portal, one of my almost favorite plugins ever, because you can do so many sick sound design with it. And I added portal, and without portal it just sounds like this. And with portal it just adds more rhythm. And it's pretty sick. So I also have a reverb automation here just to introduce the next part, which is the build-up. And yeah, that's why I also added an auto filter automation and the reverb automation to, as I said, introduce the next part. So let's get to the build-up and let's start with the effects I have there. Here I got an uplifter to build tension. We still have the vocal ambient sound. Then a cashmere impact sound to get from the verse to the build-up to make the transition smooth. Another impact. And a riser, which I made with Serum. It's pretty simple, it's just a saw wave with some unison and detune, and I automated the pitch of Serum with 12 semitones. Yeah, and I automated it, and some effects inside of Serum, nothing special. And to make it the kind of like wobbling, I added the AutoPen stock plugin from Ableton to make it rhythmic. So yeah, pretty simple. Then let's get to the drums of the build-up. We have a simple clap build-up here. Which gets pitched, as you can hear. To pitch it, I just took this part, automated it and pitched up to build more tension, and I also filtered it, as you can see, with the auto filter again. And I did the same with this clap sample, sounding like this. It just makes it epic and really dope. So I made the same using the auto filter and filter it in. And then we have the hi-hats, which also appear in the drop, and I also filtered them in just to introduce the drop and also the hi-hats and the drums and stuff. So sounding like this. Yeah, and then we still have the piano, same. And we have the bass from the drop also getting filtered in. I will show you how I made this bass in just a few seconds. So, and then the last element is a guitar I played myself, and I distorted it with an amp and saturation OTT, so I processed it really hard, and it sounds like this. Yeah, and that's the build-up. So let's get to the favorite part, to the drop. So let's start with the drums again. That's pretty simple. It's only 3 elements. So I have a kick. And the only thing is an EQ, which I added to the track. And yeah, I low cutted the unnecessary frequencies, boosted the lows a bit to make it more punchy. And I took some of the mids and highs to emphasize the lows. Then there are the typical D&B hi-hats and cymbals sounding like this. And the snare. Here I also cutted the lows, so I don't want to have them because I already have them in my kick. So I made space for the kick. And the hi-hat includes an utility plugin, which is controlling the volume. So every time the kick hits and every time the snare hits, the volume of the hi-hat track is lowering the level. That's the drums. Then let's get to the effects because they are pretty simple. We only have a downlifter and we have a short uplifter. And that's the effects. Let's get to the instruments. Here we have the vocal chops sounding like this. Yeah, this one is pretty simple. I just took certain parts of the lead vocal and chopped them, and then I processed it a bit much. Yeah, with a compressor, OTTs. Then I got rid of the lows and I added saturator, another OTT, erosion for the highs because I needed some more highs in the drop. Another EQ to get rid of the added lows which come with the OTT. Then we got another reverb and another reverb which I'm using for automation reasons. Then I have a compressor, EQ, OTT and an utility plugin which I'm using as a sidechain. Short explanation, I'm lowering the level every time the kick comes through. So I basically make space for the kick. So yeah, I have the kick sounding and punching through and the kick doesn't clash with any other sounds. That's what sidechaining does. Well, let's get to the last section, the bass. At first I only had one bass sound and that's how it sounds. But that wasn't enough, so I added a second bass. But let's start with bass number 1. It's basically pretty simple. I just added oscillator A, the basic shapes, and oscillator B, saw wave. And as you can hear, the bass sounds really harmonic, kind of. That's because I added this 3 semitones to oscillator B. And to make it harmonic, it doesn't fit if I just say, okay, I want to add 3 semitones on oscillator B, because the tones do not match every time. So I had to automate the semitones there. And yeah, I played around with them and then I came up with this and yeah, it sounded pretty good. Yeah, I have also some unison and detune and I added the filter. That's pretty much it. I also have hyperdimension, distortion and compression inside of Serum. And outside of Serum I have another 3 OTTs. Saturation to thicken the sound and to make it fat, and an EQ to get rid of the unnecessary lows and to get rid of some annoying highs. Then a wider plugin from polyverse. And then we have a reverb, another EQ, a clipper plugin. I can really recommend this clipper plugin. It's pretty dope. I'm using it in almost every project. Again, the utility plugin to sidechain this bass. And yeah, that's the bass sound. So it's pretty simple. And then I had to add a second bass to thicken up the whole sound because it sounded a bit empty. So I added a bass 2, and this is also pretty simple. It's just a saw wave with some unison and detune, and I filtered it a bit and added hyper dimension, a compressor and another filter. Yeah, and then I added an EQ to get rid of the lows because I wanted the sub from bass A, so I didn't need the sub frequencies of the second bass. Another utility, again for sidechaining reasons. Erosion for the highs, saturation OTT, and an automated filter just to make this more moving and unique and interesting, because yeah, otherwise it would be static and I don't want that it is static. So I automated the filter and it sounds like this. Yeah, and that's the whole song. That's how I made this sick Liquid DNB track. Well, do not forget to subscribe, like and comment, and see you in my next video.